Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is Sunday, March 11th, 2018. Hopefully everybody that had to in the country sprung ahead this morning and turned our clocks ahead an hour. Not a bad day today. It's mild. It's in the 30s, low 30s, but it's still in the 30s, and very overcast, as you can see. It's been that way all day. And right now it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we've pulled in 2.1 kilowatt hours already on the day, and we ended up pulling in 2.4 yesterday, I believe is what it was. And somebody said to me, something's got to be wrong with your system. How are you pulling in that many kilowatt hours on an overcast day? Well, we do. I mean, it's just, that's what we pull in if it's overcast and it's not raining. So that's just kind of how it is. There's nothing wrong with the system. It's just the way it is. Okay, so I wanted to do a video today. I wanted to talk about this, and I don't think a lot of people think about this. Are you a slave to the system? And I think it's an important topic and something that needs to be discussed, because if you said, no, I'm not a slave to the system, well, you're wrong, because we all are. The powers that be, if you will, have set it up to keep us in debt, which keeps us working, which keeps us paying bills and paying taxes, and in making your big bankers, your pharmaceutical companies, your insurance companies, all kinds of money. They make a whole bunch of money off of us, okay? And so how do you break free from that? How do you get freedom from being a slave to the system? It's I don't know if you can ever completely break free of the system. I honestly don't think you can completely, because even here at the homestead, I still have to pay taxes on my land, and that's okay. I mean, but you can be as free as you can be. And how do you obtain that freedom? Well, try to have as little debt as possible. I got rid of my credit cards many years ago, and I don't have credit. I have one. I have a Kohl's card. And I don't even use it. I have nothing on it right now. So I've actually thought about even canceling that, because I just don't use it. But trying to, if you're gonna, some things you have to have a credit card for, so use a debit card. You have the money in your checking account, and you use that just like a credit card, but you only have what you have in your checking account. That's one way of doing it. Being in debt with the credit cards, and here's the thing is, guys, they don't make their money off the rich folks. They do not make their money off the rich folks. They make it off poor folks. The interest rates are absolutely insane. It's ridiculous. It's like extortion, to be honest with you. And they get you set up where you get your credit card, and and the next thing you know, you got that bad boy maxed out, so they increase your limit, and you add more debt onto yourself, and the next thing you know, you got $4,000 or $5,000 on a credit card, and you're in debt up to your butt. And then every month you're working, and you're paying a small amount of principal, and the rest is all interest. And that is insane. Okay, that is an insane concept to do, and so it's breaking that cycle. Okay, having a 30-year mortgage on a place, on a house. And you're, even after you pay for that house, you still have the taxes on it. And again, depending on where you are and what your taxes are, I know that when I lived in Greece, New York, my taxes were $5,000 a year. And I thought about that, and I said, my God, I said, even once I pay the house off after a 30-year mortgage, I said, I'll still have this huge tax bill every year, and it was never going to go down. I hate to think what it would have been by the time I had gotten to that point. So those are things you need to think about. And with reducing your debt, you don't need, here's the thing is, and I think this is a misconception, okay? You don't need to have the big house. You don't need to have 2 cars. You don't need to have all the bells and whistles and the boat and everything else, and those type of things. You don't need to have all those things. Now, there's a want and a need, okay? What do I need and what do I want, okay? So if you get yourself in a position where most of your money, when you're making it every week, is staying in your pocket and not going out the door to pay bills, and most of us guys, and I'm going to be honest, I mean myself included, we live week to week. And I mean, I have changed my situation, as you guys know, and if you've watched my past videos, you know that I've completely changed my situation so that my money going out is not that great. So it is, I don't have to work 66 hours a week anymore. And that's a really nice feeling, to be honest with you. It's a really nice feeling. And but the thing is, realistically, anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. And it just you have to have, like I said, it comes down to a lot of it is determination. Look at what you're bringing in, money wise, what you're working, and getting rid of that debt. And credit cards are like the worst evil that there is out there because they will enslave you in a heartbeat. And that's what it is. You're a slave to the system. The banking system owns your butt, and it's crazy. And with having to buy like I got a buddy of mine, and I love the guy to death, but I've had my Santa Fe for 10 years, and in that same 10-year period of time, I kid you not, he's had 9 different cars, and it's like I just think to myself, my God, I hate to think what his payments are. There was one time his wife, who's now passed away, she bought a car, realized that she didn't want that car, went back 6 weeks later and got another car. So think about that. What kind of loss they took on that. I mean, that was insane. And it was an impulse buy, of course, and a lot of people do. They have impulse buys. When I got my Santa Fe, I had traded in my Mustang. I had a convertible Mustang. Loved my Mustang. I thought it was an awesome car. But realistically, at the time, the kids were, a lot younger, and I realized that we needed to have a more family-friendly car so that we could fit everybody in, and so I got the Santa Fe. Very practical, and it could fit all 5 of us at the time, and it was not an issue. Now it's the 3 of us, so but that's okay. But the thing is, realistically, you have to look at, want and need. What do you want? What do you need? Now, anybody that watches my channel knows that I have a Harley Davidson. I have a Heritage Softail, and I bought it brand new. And yep, I have payments on that. But that was my choice. That was my one indulgence, if you will. And so that's what I take care of. I mean, I don't have a car payment. My building will be paid off this year. And so that's going to free up a lot of money. That's my biggest bill, is the building payment. And that will be paid for in October of this year. And that's a great feeling because it's going to free up that much more money to work to take care of other things. And that is awesome. And, my taxes out here are not astronomical, which is fantastic as well. And so, like I said, it comes down to want and need. What do you want? What do you need? And, it's choices, realistically. I mean, I don't have a water bill. I don't have a gas and electric bill. We heat with wood. And, we have our own solar system. And, and that's an investment in itself. And somebody had said, oh, I see that at the street you have, telephone line or power lines and stuff like that. And, so you could have power here. Yeah, I could if I wanted to, but I don't. I don't want them to own me. And that's what it comes down to. When there's power outages, we don't have power outages. I love that, okay? Has my system been expensive? It sure has, but you know what? It's an investment, and it's an investment in the future where, once I get the system where I want it to be, I don't have to put anything else into it realistically. I mean, the batteries that I have will last 10 years if they're taken care of properly. And so far, I've had no issues with the batteries, okay? We had a different set the first year. In the last 2 years, we've had the set that I have now. And I have had no issues with those batteries at all. And so I'm, been very, very fortunate in that aspect. But, I plan on upgrading the batteries down the road. There's nickel plated, I think they are. They're much more expensive, but they'll last 20 years. And I'm looking, that's what I want. I mean, I want to get to a point where I have batteries that I don't have to do any maintenance on. But again, those are all things that you have to plan ahead, you invest in, you do what you have to do. But let's go back to, I'm rambling on here and I apologize. But the thing is, how do you get away from being a slave? You reduce your debt, you downsize, You don't need to have a lot of the things that you thought that you needed to have to impress who. Okay, I had a 1,912 foot square house. You know, we never used the dining room, which was a big dining room. We never used the front room, which was a great big front room. We basically were in the living room area. We rarely used the kitchen other than for cooking and stuff like that. And we had our bedrooms upstairs that we slept in, and then Josh's bedroom was downstairs. And I had a full basement, well, half a basement, half the basement down there. And that's where I did a lot of my prepping. If you watch my old videos, that's where you'll see I did a lot of my videos was down in that basement. So I had a lot of room that we did not use. Then after my ex left and it was just me and the kids, now I had this great big huge house, you know, and I didn't need that great big huge house, and I didn't want that great big huge house. So, you know, we made a change and we downsized. We downsized big time, you know. But the thing is, it's like this is less expensive, doesn't cost as much, and like I said, the building was a three-year payment instead of 30 years. And yeah, the interest rate was high, and I'm not gonna lie, the interest rate was high because my credit is now crap, but that's okay. You know, I don't have those debts like I had before, and I don't miss not having that. I mean, when I was paying out at one point $1,100 a month in credit card payments, or better, I think it was even more than that, and of that, maybe 200 of it was principal and the rest was all interest. I looked at it and I just said, this is insane. And so, you know, I made some changes. And I probably didn't do it the best way, okay, I'll be honest with you. But you know what? I made a decision and I stuck with it. And we all have to do that. You have to do what's best for you. And, you know, it's just, it is what it is. And making choices to make your life better, to make your life easier. That's what it's about. Giving yourself that chance to have more time. Time you can never get back, guys. You never get that time back. So to try to get away from keeping up with the Joneses and having the new this and the new that, you don't need those things, okay? And again, it comes down to want and need. And so, you know, it's just, what do you really truly need to have and what do you want? Like now my phone, it is, you know, like they give you a 2-year plan, you know, where you can, you know, pay for your phone over 2 years, and then, you know, most people will go ahead and upgrade after 2 years. Well, my phone that I have right now, I'm on my 3rd year, almost starting my 4th year, I think. I think it's next month starts my 4th year with the same phone. Well, it works. It's not broken. I don't need a new phone, so I'm not going to get a new phone. That saved me, you know, once I paid off the phone, it was like an extra $28 a month that I didn't have to put out the door. Now, $28 don't sound like a lot, but it adds up, okay? So, you know, those things are what you need to think about. You know, what are you putting out the door? What do you really need to be putting out the door? And like I said, reducing those debts, getting rid of those credit cards is like the number one thing. That is your number one thing. Yeah, maybe you want to keep one and keep very small balance on it. But other than that, you know, I mean, I know at one time I had 8 or 9 different credit cards. It's crazy, crazy. I had great credit. I had awesome credit, you know, and I worked all the freaking time. And I was working to pay bills. And I just woke up one day and I said, this is insanity. My kids are growing up so fast and I'm missing all this. And what's more important? And that time is so important. So that's how you get away from being a slave. You get rid of those debts if you can. You make choices, you downsize, and you know, and believe it or not, you'll be happier. You really, truly will be. I know I'm much happier than I was before. You know, and the thing is, there's a lot of work that I'm going to still do here, and there's a lot that I want to do, but I'm trying to be as free as I possibly can be. Will we ever all be completely free? Nope, no way, okay? Because there's still going to be taxes that have to be paid. But I'm going to be as free as I possibly can be. And I'm going to put myself in a position where I don't have to be working to pay bills. And that's the beauty of it, okay? So I definitely want your feedback on this video. I want to hear what your thoughts are, what you guys think, what your game plans are, okay? I mean, I know a lot of you have thought about doing this, you know, and like I said, you don't even have to move to downsize, if you will. I mean, if you have a modest home and it's not that expensive, then stay where you are. But like I said, getting rid of those debts and being out of debt is the biggest thing. And realize this: time goes on anyway. Okay, the years are going to fly by, and before you know it, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be 65 years old and it's time to retire, and you're going to say, what did I do with my life? Okay, for me, like I said, the most important thing for me was the time that I had with my children. And I may have no regrets of anything that I've done, because I've had wonderful times with them since I made the choices that I made. And we've grown so much closer, and that's what it's all about. Because you know what, guys? They grow up and they're going to be gone. And did they want to have the memory of, well, Dad was working all the time and we never saw him? Or do you want to say, I spent quality time with my parents? That's what you want to have. I mean, that's what, as far as I'm concerned. And so, anyway, listen, remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen. And remember STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, one day at a time. Even with getting rid of that credit card debt, it's the same thing. You work at it methodically, and it happens, okay? So listen, have a great day. I hope your weekends are going well, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.